Hi, I have a huge vivarium. It now hosts many animals that are living sustainably in a diverse and complex ecosystem. It is flourishing, but today we are introducing a key species to this project. Let's welcome these epic ants to our vivarium. Welcoming the Dinosaur Ants. So, I have decided to get this tank's first big ant species. It will be one of many inside, but my intuition tells me that these girls are going to show us more than the most. I got these from a Thai supplier called Ants from Asia. If you live in Thailand, he has a regularly good supply of ants. So, introduced, they immediately started to forage around. Without fear, they explored with the head first into spider holes all around the vivarium. Truly dinosauristic behavior. It was so cool to observe their well-known behaviors, such as the infamous tandem running, whereby a sister ant connects to a leading sister ant that shows her the way to their collective objective. Truly inspiring and shows some good teamwork. As many ant nerds here may know, this species does not have a definite queen, such as other ant species. Instead, the royal position is held by a worker that is somehow elected by her sisters. She is then called a gamergate, as she aggressively defends her position until she dies. As she dies, I have heard that the new election occurs by certain willing individuals that, when they lose, exit the colony only to perish. Their arrival had been noticed by the vivarium as organisms came to greet them, with both cordial and hostile intentions. This hammerhead slug that we have seen in previous updates is a super predator that chases and eats snails, so hopefully he won't be to any threat to our ants. I even noticed that the previously careful Solenopsis workers seemed interested. They examined their leftovers and, in some cases, even ate them. Don't worry guys, this dino worker was already dead when she came. As seen before, the dino ants didn't mind their new neighbors and commenced the construction of their nest in the wooden trunk. It was a perfect site, since this was way far from the other side of the vivarium, where most of the competition occurs, especially as both the fatal colonies and the termites are nested there, close to where I add my offerings. The termites has now definitely moved over to this trunk that they have consumed day by day. They also impressively created some small vertical towers trying to reach the skies. just like the Babylon towers. But that's not allowed in this world, ruled by the Nordic god. Thor pisses on whom tries to reach the superior territories of Asgard. But concerning the legal construction, our dino ants has day by day fortified their main nest, ending up with a vent-like entrance. Not far away, I also noticed a giant hole that had been constructed through the soil with seemingly minimum effort. It was situated just below the silver weaver ant nest. This was enigmatic at a start, since I instinctively thought that this must be the work of a great and big organism. But I later got reminded of that we now in this vivarium are hosting dinosaur ants. They had built a satellite nest that the guards later patrolled under sun and moonlight. Established, I could now observe these guys in a natural habitat on a regular basis. It has been impressive, observing them hunt and eat so far, especially their way of gathering liquid food, such as honey. They are so aggressive onto it, and it seems like they are just going crazy about it. But I have noticed that behind all this craziness lies a great strategy. As you can see, the ant is clearly covered with honey, as she is without problems returning to the colony. It might be so that these ants are deprived of a social stomach, and are therefore forced to carry the honey back to the colony, wherever it be, balancing it between their mandibles or glued onto their bodies. Fascinating. I have never seen this before, in the ant kingdom, so to say. Sometimes I like to see the vivarium as the African Savanna. The dino ants has now entitled themselves as the ruling lionesses that hunts and dominates these catches because of their imminent size. But they are not uncontested, as the hyenas, or the big-headed ants, are great in numbers and always hunger after what leftovers may remain from the lionesses' feasts. The hyenas and lionesses also feeds on the vulnerable herbivores, like the antelopes, aka the termite workers, but only the unhealthy or the old individuals. But they almost never touch the elephants, the snails, unhealthy or not, even when they bully them. Only alien force can sustainably feed on the big herbivores. We must not forget that we have the elusive but incredibly fast cheetahs that roams the territories as well, looking for prey. The shy army are more omnivore, like baboons. They gather fruit and other vegetables, but if disturbed as a pack, they will fight back. Although some animals in the savannah defies today's reality as huge monsters. If this would be the African savanna, the root of this trunk would be the oasis, as I have consistently fed this site, examining how this vivarium would react. Ant colonies and other organisms have now moved closer to this hotspot. This is where it all goes down. Even the dinosaur ants have ambitiously created an outpost just by the oasis. It is fascinating how all organisms meet and interact in such a place. And together they manage to collectively turn entire mangoes to dirt here in a few days, which we will surely dig deeper into in upcoming videos. Lastly, I have to make a honorable mention to our fascinating hammerhead slug. He is with a cohort of similar but smaller slug species, believe it or not, crucial for this vivarium, as nobody else, not even the ants, are able to tackle these giant herbivores. The snails of the tropics and in my vivarium has amazed me for sure. They eat almost anything and are actually the greatest consumers of my offerings. They come in a great variety and they all have cool features. You can even see some of their heartbeats. The biggest species in the tank is flourishing, and I have had the privilege to experience their mating seasons and rituals. It is spectacular to see, but to truly first understand, we need to speed it up a notch. So, to the right here we can see two snails that are clearly mating. But how come they did? Let's have a closer look at the couple to their left. They are doing something very interesting. They seem to inspect each other with their eyes. Interestingly, their sexual organ seems to be situated just by the head as well. You'll see that white thing there. But the poor guy unfortunately lost his mate. I hope it wasn't my fault with the camera, but this is a very cool way of breeding, which I absolutely loved observing. After all this zoological pornography, I must unfortunately sign out. No dive into the lake this time, but I promise that I will next time, as stuff is happening there, believe it. This vivarium is doing perfect at the moment, but just as light shines upon the land of Middle Earth, the evil powers of the east and darkness are rising from below. And unfortunately, the dark powers of beneath has made their first appearance, damaging the kingdoms of heaven, which did deeply hurt me as much as it filled me with anger. Let's take care of those small shits in the next video.